Hello again from the team here at the Ygartua Art Chronicles podcast, discovering the life and work of artist Paul Ygartua. I'm Ed Hoskin, and today we begin a chat about the career-defining Bella Mural, United in History, which is located in BC, Canada. This mural really came together as a culmination of a lot of the aspects of Paul's identity and work. Yeah, but I suppose you could start by telling us where it is, and because there's lots of other murals where, you know, as soon as you get an image of where it is in your head, then you can picture it. So why don't you explain briefly what we're talking about with the Bella Mural?
So the Bella is on the island, Campbell Island, and then Denny Island is 15-minute boat trip.
From there, yeah.
Yeah, and so Shearwater is on Denny Island, and this is all located in the heart of the Great Bear Rainforest.
Yeah.
So this is as north, I think, as you can get, no?
No, goes further north than that, but that's pretty well. It's about 300 miles north of us here. So we had to take a plane to get there.
Yeah, I can see by the geography you couldn't hope to drive there. It'd be a nightmare.
No, you can't
No,
drive.
You can't.
drive.
Yeah.
And this is, you know, if you go further along, you've got the Haidas.
Haida.
And the
that's
Antony
right, Queen
Island.
Charlotte's.
And
once you go further up north than that, you're aiming towards Alaska.
Yeah, you're not very far from Alaska. You're halfway, basically, to Alaska.
That's right.
Really?
That's right.
Yeah,
Wow.
more than half.
yeah.
And you've got Graham Island, which I don't know who that belongs to. And that's Canada as well, I imagine.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the natives own a great portion of all the area up there. I had somewhere down the statistics.
Heiltsuk, millions
Oh,
of
yeah, what is it?
kilometers or something.
It says their traditional territories cover 22,000 square kilometers of land and sea.
Right.
And the community of Shearwater, of course, that began with Andrew Widston. This is Craig Widston's father. And he was Norwegian, and he, I think, with his family...
His father came out here in the 18th century.
Yeah.
And for some reason went up there to Bella, which is an amazing place
quite,
to go when you're a new immigrant. I mean,
Yeah.
like nobody
Quite
else.
tough. Yeah.
middle of nowhere, yeah.
And, he was an entrepreneur,
They
actually.
were pioneers, obviously, wanting to go out there. And,
Mind you had, the first Europeans that were there. Because I guess with the waters and the location.
well, Norway, maybe because of the Norwegian, waterways and everything, there's a similarity, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think so.
fjord
In the
type.
landscape.
Yeah,
That's right.
Could be
possibly.
similar landscape.
Felt at home. But they would have come all the way. How would they have got there? They would have come across a boat.
Gosh.
But I mean,
Boat and then train and then boat again to get there. Ferry boat. You have to take ferries up there.
from sort of Vancouver, I suppose.
Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what Craig, he described his father as a young visionary, right? That can you imagine with his Norwegian family, they settle in Bella Coola first.
Yeah, which is a little north of Bella, slightly north.
And he also,
And I mean, they've got grizzly bears, and
everything,
wolves, and oh my God, it's like an animal sanctuary with wildlife. They got killer whales, everything all around there. So quite fascinating.
And I guess if you're into the fishing industry or in the future, I guess thinking of tourism, which today,
They wouldn't have had tourism back then.
No, of course not. No.
But then of course we've got the Second World War, right? Where they, what are they doing there? They developed an anti-submarine bomber reconnaissance right there.
Yeah. Right.
And then
because it is an aircraft hangar that I ended up painting on.
Yeah.
So this was part of the Air Force's property. They had a landing strip and they had the hangar and some bunkers and right
his
along
father,
the water.
His father was with the Air Force during the Second World War
Right.
with Canada, right? So
Right. And so
I guess he was in the right location.
Well, that's it. And so the mural itself, you've got for the mini geography around that area. You have Campbell Island, and you have Denny Island, and you have Bella, which is a town on Campbell Island. Is that right?
That's right.
That's
and you've got
right.
Shearwater, which is on Denny Island.
Denny,
The mural is where
Yeah.
exactly?
in Shearwater.
In Shearwater.
It's in the
right?
it's in the on the aircraft hangar. Yes,
It's on the aircraft hangar.
125 foot long by about 25 foot high
Right. Okay.
And,
on one of the walls of the hangar.
Okay.
and this was Craig Winston's dream always, to dedicate, the mural to his father, everything he did. And that's why they called it United in History.
So
Right.
That's right, which is a mixture of the Heiltsuk chiefs, the ancient chiefs, and then
And the
some
nation of-
important people of his that he knew or his father knew in the area.
And how did you come across this Craig chap? How did the whole thing kick off?
It was strange. I was
2012.
in 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, evidently, Craig used to go into this place in White Rock, a bar in White Rock, and a friend of mine who I knew from Bimini's and Derby D Doors, he was the manager at Derby D Doors. He was he was the manager of this bar, and he was talking to him one day and said, "Oh, I want to do a mural on my aircraft hangar in Denny Island, which I own, and I'm looking for some artist who can do sort of, and I happen to like the actual mural of the United Nations at Expo, and so my friend said, "Oh, I know that guy. I've bought some of his paintings. Or maybe I'll be able to get you in touch with him."
Yeah.
And that's how it started. And he got us in touch, and we all met one morning and for breakfast and chatted about it.
Yeah. And then they got Pauline Waterfall.
Pauline Waterfall was the representative of the Heiltsuk Nation that came down with them.
One evening for dinner.
And we all met and discussed everything. And of course, it's fascinating,
So why?
Well,
why was she invited? And he wanted to do something. You said to honour his father, but obviously he also wanted to do something to honour the local indigenous people.
Nation.
And
that's right.
And so Pauline was what, the representative, or she just happened to be very vocal, or she was a publicist, or what was her?
Oh no, she is from the Heiltsuk Nation.
Yeah.
And she
and they have to get the approval of the natives before they can put their faces on a mural. You know what I mean? So it was quite a political thing as well.
The 2010, what was it? The Order of
Governor
BC
General or something.
recipient, educator. She is the lady that has made sure from the educational side that the natives on Bella, had the opportunity to start up with their language again, their culture, everything. She's been behind all of this, and they now have the language in their school, and it's very similar, with the Basques, where they lost
that was
everything.
the connection we had when we met, that I told her all about my Basque heritage.
Yeah.
And she was so interested, because then she felt like there was some kind of a connection between, me, the artist, and the natives from the area. And from then on, it was easy to convince everybody we were going to do a good job of the mural.
But it was many of the people of Denny Island, of course, as well, that were part of the building, of Shearwater, which was now a famous fisheries and fishing resort. And
but the hard part, of course, was finding first the faces of the chiefs. They have some very old photographs, and of course these chiefs have never ever been able to wear their ceremonial outfits, because back then potlashes and anything was banned. It had been banned, so natives couldn't wear their outfits, ceremonial outfits, in public, or even wear them ever to be found.
That's really something.
Because there were so many laws and restrictions on them.
Right, so they were so repressed by the
very much so.
the
Yes,
government, the state.
children were taken away to the government schools, and it was a terrible.
It's always with the language.
And this is why they're always a little skeptical of anything that's going to be done with their people,
and their
but
image.
anyways, that was the hard part. We had to find out what outfits they would have worn, and then I had to paint these outfits on the chiefs.
Mm.
So it was like me. They'd never seen their chiefs with outfits on before. So it was quite a thing when they actually came to visit the mural and saw it. It was very emotional, and so that was a very important part, for me to do.
And the rest of if people can have a look and search on Google for a picture of it, but it's a big mixture of about 20 faces and some totems at the end. What was the choice? Usually we always discuss this with you guys, what the choice was and how it came about, but it's obviously a mixture of a lot of different backgrounds of people. So how did that come about? How were the discussions about who's going to be up there and where and things like that?
This all, of course, comes from Craig. And it was, the people that began with his father that started the actual Shearwater Resort, that started just the community, that built a school. They're a stop-off for renovations, for filling up with gas. They're the only people in the area. It's a service center.
Right.
So they built all of this right from scratch, and these are all the people from the doctor to the teachers to, any small community.
Right.
What's involved.
Contributed to the actual building of the town. The
boat
place.
Builders. And, experts.
Plus the natives. There was about four. Well, there was the main four chiefs, and then we had other Heiltsuk members of the tribe up there as well in different positions.
And they're all actual people, or some of them sort of abstract? No, they're actual. They can be named, people. Each one. Yeah.
Actually, if you go to, there is one site, and I think it might be on Shearwater's actual site. They do have the mural, and they've got the names of everybody underneath. So everybody is identified, and I think it does start from the 1900s.
Yeah.
And Craig's father is in there as well.
And when I was up there on this long, the arm of the lift was like about 50 foot long. I had to go all the way over and practically a lower building to reach the wall in the first place. So it was an amazing feat just to even get to the wall to begin painting it. But they had this piece of equipment that was a really long arm on it, and it just extended out right to the wall. And of course, when I'm working there, the eagles used to land on the top of the building.
Yeah, lots of eagles.
And they were literally, when you see an eagle 4 feet away looking down on you, I'm painting away and suddenly I hear this noise and I look up and there's this goddamn eagle standing there 4 feet above me, just looking down on me. I thought, oh my God, I hope he doesn't attack.
That's some sort of spirit watching you, checking that you're doing things correctly.
No kidding.
You know?
Yeah, right.
And there was one of the workers there that the performance he did not like if anybody was around because he was feeding. What was he giving them? Pretty nice stuff.
Big chunks of salmon. Yeah. They'd literally swoop down and he'd throw the salmon in the air and they'd catch it in midair and just keep going.
He said to us one day, "Come at this time, right? I don't like people to see me feeding. Of course, I don't know but this is what he
probably
did.
Illegal,
I think he spent quite a bit of money actually on those eagles, but they knew him.
They'd wait for him. All the eagles would be waiting in the trees near us. And as soon as he showed up, they'd come swooping down and he'd just be throwing these pieces of fish at them.
And this is a big mural. I mean, 20. I've seen 22 by 125 long. That's pretty long.
It was pretty long.
Well, it took, we were back in Europe again, and then I think you did a small mock-up there, because it did take them at least two and a half months to collect all the photographs.
To get the photographs.
Because first of all, the natives as well are saying, well, what's all this for, and I don't know if I can find anything. And,
they
they
took them a little while to get